everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a fuck if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious.
3 decades ago, if anyone said something could have ever come in between Jay-Z and Damon Dash, everyone who knew them at the time would have probably laughed it off. But it seems their friendship might not have been as mutual as they thought. At least that's what the case became when Aaliyah got involved. This story is filled with twists and turns, so stay tuned till the end.
Just from what I know, because whenever I would be around those dudes, he would be decent. He wasn't like a, it was all right, but it's just I knew too much. Yeah. So I couldn't be around. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want no parts of that bread. All money ain't good money.
Hell no.
So it's like...
And then a lot of people, like...
In a world where 2 friends might have been in love with one girl, how do you think the story ends? Well, for this pair, it ended up in the men having a lifelong beef that still stands to this very day. And while that is more or less general knowledge at this point, the part most people have no idea about is how things even got to this point in the first place. Let's just say the story was a little more complicated than just the love interests of these men, as betrayal and tragedy is also written everywhere in this story. The story of Dame Dash and Jay-Z goes way back, as the pair actually used to be beyond best friends. They even had a business together, but somewhere along the line, something happened that changed the fate of their relationship for life. Now, while the real root of Dash and Jay-Z's estranged relationship is one of rap's biggest mysteries, there have been more than a few pointers to what actually happened between them. Although he didn't say this caused the demise of Rockefeller, Dash did note that Hobb was interested in Aaliyah. He tried very hard, Dash said during a recent interview with Page 6. He went on to admit that Jay-Z wasn't the only person that was interested in the singer. Everybody was trying to get to Aaliyah. It was not just Jay, Dame said. I did not know Jay was trying to holler at her, but then it just happened like that. He was trying, I was trying. Everybody was trying. He was going hard.
Son Kenyatta. Yeah. I love Aaliyah more than anything. She loves her parents more than anything. So
Absolutely.
Then one thing I'm not going to do is ever make her or her legacy or her parents feel uncomfortable. So it's some things that I just can't address.
Dash and Aaliyah eventually started dating in 2000 and were a couple when Aaliyah passed away in 2001. His relationship with Aaliyah forced him to distance himself from R. Kelly. Earlier this year, Dame stated that the fact Hobb continued to have a working relationship with Kelly bothered him. I really am not on the best of both worlds. I didn't go to a show. I didn't have my name on any of that. I was in Fiesta, but only because Aaliyah said she wanted me to do it that way, Dash told hip-hop motivators Kenyatta Griggs. Dash also said that this proved to him that he and Jigga weren't on the same page morally. I know I'm not effing with that. I knew, morally, we weren't the same. To me, Rockefeller was defunct. It was over. I couldn't F with it. It was something that, to me, I don't want to say unforgivable, but I couldn't understand it. However, there's a lot more to their story.
They were married, that she was pregnant. Reason they got married was because they felt like if he was married to her and if he said he thought that she was 18, that he wouldn't be charged if someone found out she was pregnant.
R. Kelly's to blame and her parents.
According to reports, Jay-Z's music relationship with R. Kelly was apparently a major reason why Dame Dash and Jay, and ultimately their iconic label Rockefeller, fell apart, according to an explosive new interview. Rockefeller co-founder Dash opened up about his former girlfriend Aaliyah, her connection with R. Kelly, and how that eventually led to the downfall of the label and the fallout with Dame's co-founder Jay-Z. His comments came out amid the debut of Lifetime's Surviving R. Kelly documentary this week. In the 6-part documentary, R. Kelly is said to have married an underage Aaliyah in 1994 after pursuing a sexual relationship with her and allegedly getting her pregnant. In one scene, a former backup singer of R. Kelly even admits to witnessing a then 27-year-old Kelly having relations with then 15-year-old Aaliyah on a tour bus. Dash told Hip Hop Motivation that he had been watching the docuseries, and it was hard to see the parts that detailed R. Kelly's relationship with Aaliyah. Dash and Aaliyah dated from 2000 until her untimely death in 2001. I watched some of it yesterday, as much as I could tolerate, Dash said. I'm not gonna lie, as a human, I was tight. I was tight about a couple of things. Number one, there was a girl who she was even trying to talk about it and she couldn't. And I remember Aaliyah trying to talk about it and she couldn't. She would just leave it at, that dude was a bad man. Dash added that Aaliyah continued to struggle opening up about her relationship with R. Kelly. I didn't really want to know what he did, to the extent that I would, deal with it because that's what a man does, Dame said. But it was so much hurt for her to revisit it. I wouldn't want to revisit it without a professional. Whatever got done was terrible. He added that Jay-Z's decision to collaborate with R. Kelly on 2002 The Best of Both Worlds album, despite knowing that Dash had issues with R. Kelly, eventually led to Jay-Z and Dash's undoing. Dash also claims that Jay-Z knew about R. Kelly's predilections and the things that the Ignition singer had done to Aaliyah. If you remember the best of both worlds, you don't see my name on that. I never wanted no part of that, Dash said. Dash claims he refused to be credited on the album and that he donated his profits to a breast cancer awareness organization Aaliyah supported. Speaking about the resulting effect on his relationship with Jay-Z, he said, "So, to me, Rockefeller was defunct. It was over. I couldn't F with it. It was something that, to me, I don't want to say unforgivable, but I couldn't understand it."
At the end of the day, Aaliyah wouldn't want that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's all I care about. Whatever I feel personally, I gotta put the people that I loved before that. And I know what she would love and what she would want. She wouldn't want that.
Well,
So even
yeah.
if it's right or wrong, that's not for us to do because of how I...
According to surviving R. Kelly executive producer Dream Hampton, Jay-Z was one of the multiple celebrities who declined to come on camera to speak about R. Kelly. John Legend was the only one who participated. Hampton said, "I asked Jay-Z, I asked Mary J. Blige, I asked Lil Kim, Erykah Badu, Dave Chappelle, that they all said no. I mean, most people just don't want to touch it." R. Kelly has long denied reports that he and Aaliyah wed, saying instead that the two were close friends. In 2016, the R&B singer told GQ magazine that he will never have that conversation with anyone. Out of respect for Aaliyah and her mother and father who has asked me not to personally, he continued, "But I can tell you I loved her. I can tell you she loved me. We was very close. We were, best friends." However, it seems Kelly might have been intentionally hiding some of the details of what actually happened. Speaking about the said marriage, Dash said, "Good soul, good girl." He continued, "Wasn't even really so resentful. Like, let that man leave but keep him the fuck away from me. That's all she wanted. She was just happy to be away." Dash continued, candidly speaking about Kelly and Aaliyah's alleged marriage. "I know the whole story," he said. "I know it was the cover-up. But how does they cover it up? It just made the conversation less crazy, like, oh, he married a child." Vibe magazine published a marriage certificate that listed the couple as married in August 1994. On the certificate, Aaliyah is listed as 18, though she was in fact 15 years old at the time. Her parents annulled the marriage in February 1995. Kelly's former tour manager Demetrius Smith told TMZ he regretfully helped facilitate the wedding by obtaining a fake ID for Aaliyah. If, like, people protected Aaliyah, Dash said, so many other girls wouldn't have got touched. You know, you shouldn't have to always learn from pain. Sometimes you can learn from other people. Like, Aaliyah was like the sacrificial lamb for all that, cause she didn't deserve none of that. Dash believes Kelly married another famous musician to quell rumors about his misconduct. Aaliyah's celebrity status somehow normalized the marriage in the eyes of the public. That was a headline. That was like a rumor. That was something talked about like it was normal. He said, "It wasn't like, you, disgusting, you married a 13-year-old. It was like, oh, you married Aaliyah." Now, what caps all of this is that Aaliyah tragically passed away in a plane crash that had been piloted by someone who had just gotten busted for drugs. And seeing as Jay-Z has made it a point in his rhymes for the world to know he used to deal drugs, the story adds up that he might have had a hand in it. This has led several fans to spring up theories about how Jay might have been involved in her passing. That's exactly what this fan was hinting at, saying Aaliyah was engaged to Damon Dash at this time. Her and R. Kelly had cut ties 4 years prior to that. There are rumors about Jay wanting to date her and making a move, but never confirmed. And yes, there are some conspiracies tied to Aaliyah's death and success of Rockefeller at that time. Currently, there isn't a lot of substance to these claims, but if there is some truth to it, it'll probably get out eventually. Or will it? That's it for this video. Goodbye.